One thing that I've learned in the last 4 years is that we all deserve to die. When it turned out that I'm literally the only decent person that I know, that really put a damper on things. Cowardice is the name of the game. See, Brenda Dickinson's sin is pride. Are any of these people going to admit their sins? Is Rod Wright? Is Polly Olson? How about Brenda Dickinson? About Tabitha Michelle Cook? Or her boyfriend Graham? What about Alicia Bollinger? Or Ted Bollinger? What about Laura Nelson or David Nelson? Are these good people? No. What about Danica Garner? Or Rochelle Shelley Campbell? No. These people all used a God that they obviously don't believe in as an excuse for their wrongdoings. Are they going to repent? No. No, they're not. They don't know the meaning of the word. Or you think you go destroying another human being's life for entertainment and God's going to just forgive you? See, this is why I certainly, for surely, don't believe in any of their gods. It's okay for you to pass judgment, but it is wrong for me. You keep changing the rules. Is that just a Christian trait? Actually, there's no such thing as a Christian. There's no such thing. You will not find a single human being on the planet who is an actual Christian. Mortifying, isn't it? On the bright side, I collected the stories that I needed to. I need to put it all together into a timeline. And there's a lot of those stories that afterwards, I guess we'll skip that part, right? We'll skip that till the end of the video. We'll talk about William Barr. Lots of people pretend to believe in God. It's their excuse for the harm they do to others. It's their excuse to judge others and to whine when they are judged back. I judge you back and you don't like it. Ouch. I told y'all I'm not going to keep your secrets. So that was the point before Natalie died. I literally told all of my worst sins on Facebook in preparation for this. I knew it was coming. It's not like I got ESP. that I understand human nature. David Nelson only believes in God when it suits him. And he picks and pulls and hides pieces of the Bible based on whatever is the most convenient to him. Chris Knewell typed, "Hey, hope you're doing well. God bless. I'm not doing well." And I don't need your God's blessing. A lot of people say, maybe when you were passing out that blanket or those blankets on Pearl Street, maybe that was you. Maybe that was God speaking through you. Maybe it was God who compelled you. No, not even close. It was my loved ones freezing to death. And Officer Steinman making fun of the bumsicles. You notice how each of these people wanted to play like they believed in the Jesus. They wanted to judge, but didn't want to be judged in return. We're all brothers and sisters here, all of us. I collected the last of the stories that I needed. Imagine that. I'm sure there are lots of stories that I told that I'm not able to get that evidence anymore because of the police. But I can prove now the things that I said while I was out are true. When my paycheck comes in, I'm gonna upgrade my Google Drive thingy to 1 terabyte. That's not enough to hold all of it by a long shot, but it's something. Chris Knewell typed, "I'm a Taoist," just saying it as a formality, basically. I don't know your story at all, just bits and pieces, but you have my full support. I hope you're as okay as you can be in these trying times. No, I'm not. Pride is the downfall of humanity. I realized why it is that I have never been embarrassed my entire life. I have no pride. None. I used to say that I took pride in this and took pride in that, but in reality, I have no pride. I have my moral compass. And my moral compass at this point says we all deserve to die. These folks who decided to stab me in the back, most of them have kids. If I wanted to pretend like I was schizophrenic and the angel of death, I could kill a lot of people. Not only that, but according to God's laws, I'm allowed. You guys can go looking through the book. Who do you serve? Do you serve the government or do you serve your God? If you believe in the God of the Bible, you can't do both. Peter Ian Staker typed hello. Hello, Peter. Are you from Scotland? I meant that towards you, Peter. I found out earlier that Peter is from the UK. I just want to know if he's Caledonian. Ah, Anglolander. That's right. Are you from Londonum? Bijigandam Tai Tai, Sean. Well, hello, y'all. London was named by the Romans. It's just changed over the years. East Midlands of England. Is that right? My Scottish accent sucks as much as my Irish one, but I try. Top of the morning to you, and the rest of the day to you. Usually I read the comments on the sides, but this is a pretty important message here. According to all of these supposed Christians, according to all of them, they have the right to do these things. It's okay, according to their book. No, it's not. I've read the whole thing front to back, an average of once a year for my entire life. And that's considering the first 6 years of my life, first 5 years of my life, I didn't read it. I read the Bible the first time I was 6 years old. Peter Ian Staker typed, Sean David never said it would make it great again. I hope you found that comment as entertaining as I did, Peter Ian Staker. He commented on another video earlier. However, this video is on why we all deserve to die. All of us. Brenda Dickinson, she showed me what's truly in her heart, where her beliefs truly lie. And it's in selfishness and wickedness. See, according to the book she pretends to believe in, she's not supposed to lie to her husband, but she does. She's not supposed to keep secrets from her husband, but she does. I can always tell when people are going to turn into absolute cowards, or already are. They turn to religion. You are too much of a coward to do it yourself, so you pretend that your imaginary friend is going to fix it. You are too much of a coward to tell the truth in my situation. But since then, I recorded all of you. All of you. Every one of you. And even more who were added on later. See, before their excuse for many of those added to the Christian list later, many of them were just straight up drug addicts. And that's why they didn't speak up. And now they want to alleviate the pain that they feel inside by hiding behind God. You can't hide behind God. Are you kidding me? If somebody goes to punch you in the face and you go to hide behind God, you're still going to get punched in the face, dude. If I were to go and kill all of these fake Christians, most of America would be full of orphans. Why is that? Because, first of all, according to God's law, I'm allowed to kill them. I am allowed to kill them. I'm just not allowed to do it to the children. Their parents are, though. But then again, those parents have to be righteous, and they're not. If you are not righteous, you don't get to pass judgment in that way. And that's where all of this comes tumbling down. None of us are righteous. A lot of these people want to tell themselves that they're good people while they turn a blind eye to the sins of others. Is Elijah McClain dead because I never spoke up about those officers or these protocols? No, he's dead because people like Kinga Nichols are cowards. But it's not just Kinga Nichols. Kinga isn't a Christian. The rest of these people claim to be. But they are truly wicked. Rod Wright, a preacher in this very town, has showed how truly wicked he is. I pass judgment back. If he needs somebody to go in so that he can safely make a police report, I will return the favor. He also passed judgment on me. Not just judging me, but passing judgment on me. It's a big difference. When people came to me for blankets, I didn't say, "Oh, you are worthy because you said in the name of God." I didn't turn anyone away. No one. If I had a blanket, I didn't tell people, "No, you can't have a blanket." I didn't say, "Oh, well, somebody told me that blah, 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 blah. You left a blanket and the sprinklers got it and it froze and you just threw it away." Oh, even if people did tell me that, I still gave those people blankets. Your sin is pride. You should have kept your pride tied. That's why you were shamed. And of course you're hiding. You feel that shame. See, that's the thing about the Bible. It's a great book. It is a great book. Because of your shame, you cover yourselves. Whether it's with the leaves of the fig or false beliefs. You don't actually believe that bullshit. You don't. Because the moment it touches your pride, they go out the window. The moment the words of that book touch your judgment, well, it shows that you have a different set of rules for yourself than you have for others. These people are manipulators, though. All of them. We all are. When I had those blankets and someone came up to me, fresh off the bus from Florida in flip flops, shorts, and a t shirt, trying to freeze to death because the Boulder bus station just closed, I didn't need an explanation to do the right thing. I didn't need an explanation to give them a blanket. I didn't pass judgment on them. Yes, I judged them. If you're going to get off of the bus in Boulder, Colorado in the middle of winter in shorts, flip flops, and a t shirt, you're an idiot. That is my personal judgment. But do I pass judgment on you? No. You still get a blanket. If Jesus was out there freezing to death, he'd get a blanket. If Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was out there freezing to death, I'd give him a blanket. Then again, if Adolf Hitler or Satan himself were out there freezing, they would have gotten a blanket too. I'm just not willing to let you freeze to death. Look what you heard. Look at both sides. Judge not, lest ye be judged. I'm fine with going to prison for the rest of my life. I'm not fine with killing people. But through all of this, between the situation with Dennis and Brenda Dickinson, breaking their covenant with God, that's what it's called, a covenant. What is that word most commonly associated with today? Witchcraft. That's right. It's associated with witchcraft. Each of these people are going to die. Many of them are dying slow, painful deaths right now as we speak. But their pride is hurt. Their pride. Nothing more. Before Natalie died, I professed all of my worst sins on Facebook. Did you know that? That was in December. I knew something big was going to happen. Now, if you notice, I haven't killed any of my predators. I have had ample opportunity. I have had plenty of time. And yet I allow these monsters to live. What happens if I kill them? They lose their chance to repent. That's something y'all keep missing out on. Sure, I don't believe in your God, but I don't rule out the possibility. And there are things in that book that I like very much. I like the lessons. I like the morals of each and every story. But you miss the moral of the story by trying to, well, manufacture a moral based on little portions of the script. You know why those numbers are in the Bible? Chapter this and verse that. Because it was assembled out of so many languages by so many scholars. You got to find some way to catalog it and organize it so you can put it back together. If part of the book of Luke is in ancient Frisian and part of it is in ancient Greek and part of it is in ancient Egypt, or Egyptian, my apologies, and you don't know which is which, and you've got hundreds of scholars and they're expected to put the Bible back together in order from bits, pieces, and fragments, you got to catalog it. You have to have some way of reassembling it from all of these different languages. Different religious groups, when they came together for the first College of Cardinals, the very first one, what was their order of business? To vote on what goes in the Bible. And those who believed that the book of Judas should be in the Bible were executed. These were the first Christian martyrs. I've read the book of Judas. It's the one book that ties everything together and makes it actually make sense, but it's not in there. There's a lot of books that aren't in there. There was one man here in town, his name was Jeff, very religious. And me, not so much. We were having an argument about the Dead Sea Scrolls. I said, the Dead Sea Scrolls were found all over the place. And he said, no, Sean. They were only found around the Dead Sea. Do you know how they were found? I said, yes, I do. But he told me the story. And he said, those are the Dead Sea Scrolls. Those aren't the only ones. They still find parts of those scrolls to this day, all over the place. Now, me and Jeff, we argued for a couple of minutes. I was done arguing, so I allowed him to go around and have his own belief system. Well, surprise, surprise, Jeff actually looked it up. Said, Sean, or Schwartzy as they call me here, he said, Schwartzy, you were right. I know. You didn't have to tell me. The only person that I know who is not too cowardly to admit all their sins, I'm the only one. Now, these terrible monsters may, for the rest of their lives, do terrible things to other people, up to and including murder them. I'm not a righteous man. Not anymore, anyway. I know I'm going to die. I don't fear death. Why is it wrong to kill somebody else? even if they're a murderer. Well, murder is one of those sins that you cannot make amends for. See, William Barr, he was in the military and he killed people. And he is ashamed of what he has done, and he admitted that to me. But, Will, you don't need to tell me. You need to tell the families of those that you killed. That's repenting, Will. That's what hurts me so much about Natalie Bollinger is that she died not understanding what repenting is. Repenting is making amends in life. Repenting means that if you lied about your cousin and your cousin was beaten so that he's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, if you want to repent, first you got to admit to your cousin that you were wrong. You need to admit to the people who beat him down that you were wrong. You need to own and fess up to your wrongdoings and try to make amends. Without that, it is not repenting. Taking care of your cousin for the rest of his life, that might be the right thing to do. When you lie about someone and great harm comes to them, but your pride makes it so that you are too afraid to come forward because you are too afraid of the judgment. I'll take the judgment. I have been taking the judgment. I'm not talking from the courts. I'm talking from supposed Christians like Laura Nelson, David Nelson, Pastor Rod Wright, Tabitha Michelle Cook, and of course Graham. It's easy to see that we all deserve death because of the cruelty that we inflict on others. How was I different from any of the rest of these idiots? I always tried to look at both sides unless there was no time. Now, when I say I always tried, that doesn't mean that I always did. There were times that I wanted to believe Jamie because she smiled so big and she has such a pretty smile. And that can pass a lie more than anything else. We can save lives, but we got to stop being petty. In many of these situations, people harmed me for the things that others did, treated me in a shitty fashion for the actions of others, like Mariah Johnson and Kelly Henson. But you know what? I'm here for a big fight, a very big one. And to fight it without killing people is so difficult. It is difficult to fight the Nazis in their own arena. On the bright side, I'm not willing to kill people. And why? Because then they never get a chance to repent. There's a possibility that in the future, it might click in their heads what they've done, and they might actually make amends. They might actually repent. But how can they repent if I take away their ability to do so? Sorry, folks, but your excuses for violence are crap. I'm pretty tired, so I'm going to try to go to sleep. Y'all enjoy your evening. And put yourself in the other man's shoes, please.